2 pairs of glasses. Who knew? Um, Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friends. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whenever you're watching this. When you don't even think it's time to watch it, just watch it anyway. Click like, click subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for being there, guys. I'm going live. I just happened to decide this at the last minute. My mother called me last night and said, "Hey, I need some mermaids made." So why not? Okay, you can hear this live. Okay, I just had to get the mute on going here. Um, if you join the crowd, that's fine. And if you don't, hey, somebody's watching already. Surprise, surprise. I'll like that. Hey, but yeah, I've got a couple of mermaids to do, and I thought, why not invite you guys in too, and see how you are. Hi, Molly. Nice to see you. Good evening. How are things with you? I'm just now went to that curb market thing on Saturday and made a few dollars. Not a lot, but I like the idea of interacting with crowds. I just love it. That's why I like coming here and doing this live sometimes. Let's get on with this. I'm going to go ahead and just turn on the 10 liter per minute concentrator. I've got a 5 and a 10 at my disposal, but I only need the 10 at the moment. Now to put these guys on, and also to switch the view so you can see the actual what you came to watch, which was the torch itself, right? I'm going to tilt that up just slightly and save that. There, that looks like my normal bench, messed up. Not really messed up, but okay. Hi, Athena. Nice to see you. I'm glad that people are showing up, and I'm glad that you guys have that announcement thing on there so that you can find me. And when I am live, I know I'm very spontaneous, and I just come in here whenever. I should be more, um, you know, getting to a schedule and doing it at a certain time, but I am getting better. We'll get there. Any comments, questions, or things? Go ahead and ask while I'm working. I have as you see, I've already said hello to those people that are in the audience. So I love it when I do that. I went to this show this last weekend, and you'd think I could find my tweezers. No. Oh, these might help. Well, I had one, but never hurts to have the other one up. But 15,000 things now. I do it all in. Found them. The tweezers. I'll use this for a cullet can. Pull it off. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple of mermaids. Matter of fact, got the right piece of dichro sitting right here. It would just happen to be serendipitous. It's a dichro strip that I did a little while ago. I love how sparkly glittery it is, and it works out well for me. And this is some green exotic encased that I did a while back. And I'm going to be, of course, putting the two of them together. One's going to be the top half of this mermaid, and the green exotic is going to be the tail of the mermaid. There we go. That's about a good size for the tail. And I usually do offset and then curve it back to the other direction on the tails themselves. It works. Good to see that there's a few people watching it. I'm glad that you guys got the announcements on and saying hi, or at least coming in and watching. I appreciate that. Mermaids are one of my favorites. It was almost my favorite, but dragons have always been my favorite. And mermaids almost came and took over, but ah, I still like doing my mermaids. You know how that is. Of course, I like doing all of my figurines and all of my because they're part of me, and it helps me bring out the creativity in my brain. And to be able to take something that 5 minutes ago was again just a clump of glass that nobody wanted to look at to a eye-pleasing create creation that somebody would want to pay money for. That's the fun part. I'm going to do a cold weld here at the tip of the tail. And now I'm going to go ahead and make the top half of these mermaids. There we are. Again, if you have any questions or comments, just talk to me or type it in the chat room, I should say. I have that in front of me watching as we go. Now let's see if we got a light blue. Cobalt blue. Oh, here we go. Just some blue for the arms and head, and then I'm going to do, of all things, the yellow for blonde hair. Who knew, right? There we go. Sometimes I make my mermaids a little on the chesty side, and sometimes I leave it more blank. Depends upon the age at which the age of the person that wants them. And on most cases lately, the age that the person that wants them is 9 to 10 years old. So I just keep it blank. And the funniest thing about whatever you don't put on a mermaid or whatever you don't put on a figurine, a lot of times your imagination will fill in the blanks. Believe it or not. So the less you put on it, sometimes the better off you are. Let their imagination work with you to create that which is there. I'm going to use this amber purple. It might come out with a little auburn sometimes and a little bit of yellow, but this amber purple, it's also encased. And but I'm going to use it for the hair. When I do hair, I just sort of dab it on, and I go around the sides, do a little bit of the fold and pull. It comes with a little practice. When I do men's hair, well, actually, unless it's a wizard. Now the wizard and the beards turn out really good that way too. If you can see that in the way that the hair is there, that would make a good beard on the front of a wizard. So, and what I usually do on the sides of the mermaid's hair, I just sort of add a little bit extra, a little whift or curl to give it some body, I guess. And last but not least, we're going to need a bail for this baby. I'm going to do a couple of these, and then I'll be up for request. Actually, if you got a request that you'd like to see done, go ahead and mention it now, and I'll see about putting it in the mix. And of course, the bail is just basically a loop, and I touch it too, seal it in a little bit, make sure it's a good, strong deal going on. Of course, when you want to reach for something, it's never around. And after you go to a show, you'll find that most of your tools that you thought were right on top are in the bottom now, because you had to move them around to get them out and get them in. Okay, one mermaid up and done. Tap it off, fire polish it where the now let's do that one more time. Same color variation. I like the way that the amber purple came out on the hair. I might change something up, I'm not sure. Clunk. Okay, green exotic for the tail. Again, if you have a request that you'd like to see done, this should take me no more than about 4 minutes, and I'll be up for a request. But for right now, I'm actually going to really twist and swirl the colors, make it a little bit different than the last design that was going on in the tail. That's getting a little warm on my fingers, just a little. So, time to extend. Add it and hold. Wasn't burning my fingers. That's one thing I like about glass. It's not a good conductor of heat, great conductor of light. So it sort of tends to shine real well. And I'm going to try to, let's see if I did this the way I want it to. Yeah. One tail was swerving in one direction, and this tail is going to be swerving in the other direction. So not really mirror images, but close. What does running the other outer flame a bit help with? Nothing much with this size that I'm doing, but it sort of, when I start the flame, it helps out. And also, it does help keep it a lot warmer, I guess you could say. Um, Less stressing out the glass as you're working it. And again, if you have full volume of oxygen flow in this thing, I could be melting a piece of glass about an inch to an inch and a half thick, easy, solid. But take me a little while, but I could do it. But you know my range. I like to do smaller things. I know I really don't overuse the flame on my Carlisle. Gets me there though. Um, in some cases, yes, it helps with the fuming. Actually, it's reverse on the fuming. Um, I found that out the hard way. I ended up, I played with one person's torch and liked how the fumes were coming out, and then realized that on mine, I usually keep the outer oxygen ring going because I'm running on the concentrator most of the time. And because of that concentrator, I tend to, um, that way if I shut off the propane or whatever, it doesn't, the concentrators, if it has no airflow going to or from the concentrator, it tends to want to shut off and make noises and stuff saying, hey, something's wrong. There's an obstruction in the oxygen flow and whatever. Tell Amber I said hi, and how come she's not talking, or is she over there at your place? Midnight. Yeah, nice to see me on the video too. I like the audience, and I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you. It does something to me to know that at a moment's notice I can get a few people to watch me. That has always been a plus for my glass blowing, is to have someone watching me as I work, because I guess you could say I'm a exhibitionist in a good way. But never did very well in plays or anything like that, because it was always a set of words that you had to say at a certain time, and it frustrate me when I miss my line or whatever. But with this, whatever I say is right. Well, with to an extent anyway. Okay, we got another one down. Well, actually, almost. Again, now's the time if you have a request that you'd like to see me do. Elephant, cat, mouse, swan, bear, whale, snail, unicorn, dolphin, name it, and we'll see what we can get up and done in a very short time. There we go. Again, the whiffs to the side of the hair or to the sides of the head. What kind of kiln do I have? Um, it's actually a ceramic oven with the trip cone method. Uh, and I'm talking to Beehive, I think it is. It's been a long while since I wanted to get it set up and done, but I just got my tax return back and stuff, so I'm going to end up probably upgrading to a better control, digital controller, and so on and so forth. So, but I actually had a method of where I would take a piece of Pyrex, and usually it was the red, a striking red color Pyrex. I don't know why I liked it using that, but um, I put it across the actual where the trip cone goes, and when that piece of red hit the right color, and it usually would melt at the right time and turn off the kiln. Basically, simple but effective. Okay, where's that? Ah, here we go. The major graphite rod. I was talking to Mark Cornblaw from talk about running a small blow-off valve to create an O2 econs for wanting to shut down due to back pressure. Yeah, that's why I keep the outer oxygen ring on in this. But when I do a fuming, I'll turn off the outer ring completely, and I get a better silver fuming done. And that's what I was saying a little while ago. And I'm sorry, I got distracted and stuff. But the outer ring, I'll turn off completely, and even lower the pressure on the propane. Not the propane, but the oxygen down to half its regular. And as long as there's a little propane flow going on, it doesn't like to shut off as long as there's some flow going on. But yeah, and that gets me the best fuming capabilities. Just a single flame, one oxygen source, one propane source. When I used to do the oxygen in the outer ring flowing naturally, I had to shut it off finally, and then I realized I got better fuming results. So I was like happy to find that out. Again, now's the time. You want me to do? Oh, elephant with a lace work elephant. Okay, Tobias, that sounds like an idea. Yep, keep that silver fume in the reducing atmosphere. Yep, thanks, Dave. Sometimes you forget things and you relearn them. That's in my case since I've been at it since 1982. But hey, that's the fun about glass. It never gets dull. You continually, I feel like I continually learn something and have a great crowd. Well, look, wow, 10 people watching at one time. I am excited. Now, lacy elephant, huh? You want a lacy elephant? We'll do it. Now, when you do lace, now this type of lace is more or less my fold and pull, but a various. It's not the loopy lace like everybody else does. And the way I do this, it will be very self-supporting. In other words, it holds its own weight and does itself well. And the thing I like about my lace is that if it broke like a leg or something, when you do lace, that loopy lace type stuff, it really is hard to repair. But when you work this type of lace, and you can see it's just a touch, pulled over, pull, touch and pull, back and forth, basically. That's my lace. And this elephant's not going to be big, but it's going to be a lace. And again, it's touch and pull, and you can see that I'm heating up the rod that's in my right hand and touching it to the um, the glass in my left hand, and it's making a nice supportive. This makes good. You do it a lot tighter, and it makes a good coil pot method, and it gives you an interesting design flow on your glass if you do it right. With my green exotic or whatever, the way I encase it and then do something like this with it, oh man, you talk about swirl patterns and colors going on that you can't get anywhere else. And we're coming around to the other side of the circle here for the loop of this lace. We're getting there. And there we are. Now just rewarm it a little bit. And that's basically the shape of the body of the elephant. Thing about using lace, now I'm going to do the whole body except the ears and the nose and the legs. I'm going to do the head also with the lace. And it doesn't take much to add to what you've already done with this type of lace too if you wanted to go in a different direction with it, as you can see. And again, it's pretty durable. There we are. There's the head to this elephant. At this point, it could be a pig, it could be an elephant, it could be a mouse. It's so generic right now. It's what you do to it from this point on that makes it individual uh, piece of work. Nah, I'll just do the elephant. Now I can do a little elephant inside another elephant. I call that elephant with a spare trunk. Of course, the outer elephant is tubing, and the inner elephant, of course, is one of my little tiny ones. Making little tiny things does come in handy from time to time. Okay, we're getting a little bit warm on the fingers again. Thank heavens I got other pieces of glass sitting around, tapping off where it's stressed out. And those little pieces that I threw off, they make great size for icicles and the Christmas ornaments that are coming. I got to start doing those, and I will start doing those real soon. The reason being is I want to make a whole lot of Christmas ornaments, and Give away things for Christmas. That's all. This helps. Just roll it around. I don't know. You can't see it. I'm just a little off. I'll tilt that over just a little bit for right now. And what I'm doing is rolling it back and forth. And that makes a nice. Now we're going to put another ear on here. That ear is a little bit big and fat and flat, but we'll get there. Okay, now we'll tilt it back since I don't need it over there anymore. Okay, other ear coming up. This one's a little out of direction, but we can take care of that with the tweezers. Let it flow. Press and pull in the right direction. Sorry, out of the frame, but I'm used to working in that spot. Maybe I do need to widen my angle here so you can see what I do when I get a little closer to my head. I'm not trying to hide anything, just the way it works sometimes. There's one ear. Yeah, you can do a whole series of animals with little animals inside. Of course, I do Jonah inside the whale. I did one of those a couple of weeks back, I believe. I'm not sure if I did it on well, I did it, and the man inside the whale was made out of Illuminati. But there's four answers at who's inside the whale. Any guesses? Well, let's tilt that down a little bit. We're going to do a little tuft at the bottom of the ear. There we go. There we go. Curve them back just slightly. Legs coming up. No guesses at who's inside the whale? First, of course, there's Jonah if you're biblical. But if you like to read books, there's Geppetto. And of course, in Pinocchio. And then if you're from California, you got Surfer and the Whale, dude. And last but not least, if you're a redneck, or should I say it like this? If you think Noah is inside the whale, you might be a redneck. Yeah, I have had more than one person come up to the table and say, "Oh, look, honey, it's Noah." Anyway, Jonah inside the whale is one of my redneck detectors, is what I tell people. And it's not bad to be a redneck. Don't get me wrong. It's a lifestyle, and everybody has their own lifestyle, and that's a good thing. I mean, if everybody loved eating caviar and driving around in expensive cars all day long, that's their deal. Not me. I'm not a one that run around in a big expensive car. Don't have to. Okay. Now the legs, I'm basically just flowing them in and putting them in the right direction. Basically, just like I do a smaller elephant. and they're solid. I could have made them hollow, but I mean the lacy type of stuff. But with what we're doing, this is good. One more to go. Yeah, and I think I'm going to fume this silver because I can. And we talked about fuming silver. Was there a hummingbird inside? No. Here we go. And as you can see, it's a pretty good medium lace. I mean, you saw how I was just able to add more anywhere I wanted to on the actual structure. Um, it takes a little bit of time to get the flow right and get the structure going sometimes, but once you do, you can make it into anything. I've actually made that same type of lace into like a biplane. Um, just about anything you want to make it into. Okay, the head is a little bit askew, so I'm going to try to heat it up just around the base of the head and move it a little bit to the side. Just a little. There it went. Oop. See? And now we're going to just do a cold weld to the nose here. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to add some eyes. This is probably turbo cobalt, so with the lace, it might come out a little bit on the blue side, so I like that idea. It is fun to try to put eyes across from each other on a body of an elephant or a body of any animal or figurine. So don't distress. Just practice, practice, and more practice. No, gold is a little bit different on the fuming. Um, and I've used different types of gold to do the fuming. One of the ways I used gold, and I mentioned it the other day, was that I actually took ceramic gold, like you'd paint and fire in an oven onto ceramics. It's a 22 karat gold solution, um, but it stinks when you do it. It sort of has the smell like permanent, hair permanent when you're doing a. That's what people have said it smelled like. Anyway, we got a little bit of an opening going on from where the lace when I first started, but it's easy again to just go back in and fix that. Tail's going really good. That's looking really, really nice. I almost don't want to fume it, but I do at the same time. Let's get some silver going on here. Hold it. My little silver chunks. Yeah. Well, anyway, back to the gold, fuming with gold. The um, the oxygen levels are different. You do a lot of oxygen in the flame when you're fuming gold, and you'll come out with more of almost a purple color in the coating. You do it with a different flame entirely, and you'll come out with of course, you'll come out with the pink and gold luster. And actually, I've heard, uh, I saw it on Torch Talk just the other day by Mike Mason. He was playing with silver fuming, I mean gold fuming, and he showed the the transparent color was actually a blue, which was interesting. Okay, what I'm doing is warming up the whole body of this elephant right now, and the piece of silver is right next to where you can't see it. It's very, very, I just nudged it a little bit. Okay, and that's where the silver is, and I'm going to heat and touch this to the boro. There we go. Now we're going to take it down. Oh, that's right. I got to do this the hard way. I'm taking off the outer ring of oxygen. There we are. And now let's fume. And it's going to just jump. Look at that. It's the color is coming out almost instantaneous. It's jumping from that silver right over to the, and it's turning almost like a gold shine going on, which is pretty darn cool. I guess the lace it actually comes out and does a lot better on the adhering to the glass. Look at that. So sweet, baby. Okay. Yeah, but you can get a couple of colors with gold fume. I would suggest when you're fuming with gold that you lightly, and I mean lightly, fume with silver first and then fume with the gold. The reason being is that the silver adheres to the boro a whole lot easier. I have put coating of gold on some pieces and then able to just take my finger after the fact and just rub it right off. But once you put the silver down and then the gold, it adheres better and does a better tack to the glass. Okay, one elephant and two mermaids. Pretty cool. Any other requests? Now's the time. If not, I'm going to conclude this event. Questions, answers, questions. Okay, back to the outer ring. Okay. I don't feel like ending this yet. I don't feel like ending this yet at all. All right. I'm going to encase again, which I do all the time. I'm going to encase some tubing. Why not? An owl. Please. Okay, an owl it shall be instead of encasing. Thanks, Tobias. An owl it shall be. You asked for it. You got it, Toyota, right? Ah, let's get her done. Who gives a hoot, right? I like doing owls. I've recently started doing owls again. For a long while, when I started doing the Christmas ornaments this last, uh, I think I started in November or whatever, and with the owls that I did then, I really it took me back. I actually found an old box of some of my stuff and a very characteristic type owl that I did made it pretty cool. And with it, that gave me a sort of an inspiration to do some owls for the ornaments, Christmas ornament type style deal. Did the job quite well, by the way. Fuming a little on cobalt also gives a nice look. Yes, it does. The cobalt tends to be dark to begin with, and to put a fume on top of it, uh, Dave, it just really makes the color stand out, or the fume color that you want to come out to stand out better. Have you done much encasing with some of your your fuming, or not encasing? That's the wrong thing. Oh, that's the one that has the silver on the end. Darn it! I gotta put that up in a little tab by itself. I was starting to use it onto the owl. That won't work until I want to make the fuming going on, huh? Okay. A lot of the tubing that I have is what I would call encased silver. Um, it really, you put it in there just right, and you've got some really neat design pattern going on. Okay. Does it look like an owl yet? Are we there yet? No, we're getting there. That's the head to the owl. Here's where the eyes are going to be. But what I do now, I'm going to tilt this back just a little bit so that you can see back here what I'm going to do with it. It's going to be a little easier to do it up there. Is I'm going to heat those bumps up and press them out. And that sort of brings out, oops, of course, ah, I need one more screw up there. Stupid me. Sorry about the earthquake, guys. What that did, I don't know if you can see it or not, is it gave you a broader design area to put the eyes in, and that where the eyes usually go. And then I usually go ahead and do two more bumps in the middle of that after I flatten them down. And there's the eyes to the owl. Now the beak is basically just a touch, a pull out and pull down. Really quick, really easy. And then I do two sort of like tufts for the ears. Yeah, I'm excited that you can get so many different colors out of silver and gold fuming. It's a lot of practice, but maybe I'll do a silver and gold fuming show sooner or later. Just seeing what type of that cold weld I had there for the bottom here. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna pull it off there and put it on the top of the head so it will, so I can do the directions and things that I want to do. I already got it stuck to the head as it is right now. The rod that I'm using sort of adhered to the head. Okay. Now what I do for the wings is very basic. Just one little tuft out to the bottom going in that direction, another one going out in the other direction. This is a simple characteristic type owl. You can make them out to your own specifications. Now the feet, I usually do just, to make it simple, I'll usually do one basic leg, and you could add a little bit to this by uh, simple. Sorry about the wind, guys. Oh well, looking for something that's not around. But you can just sort of take a pair of scissors and basically give it the two-leg look, but it makes it easier to make that. Oh, I'm setting it down in a whole bunch of junk. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Now again, the base for the feet, I do 2 toes for each foot. And because it's also got a stand, I'll do a set to go behind like so, little tufts like so. And as you can see, I can use, when I'm working, I can use a 9mm rod to do anything I want with. But if it will make it easier for you, you can use a 3 or a 2mm rod to do the finer detail work. But this is just the way I sort of do things. I know I'm a lazy cuss. I don't like to keep picking up half a dozen different tools. Tapped it off. And I'm going to fire polish where it was on the head. And also I'm going to try to make sure the feet are a little bit more flat. There we go. And we got one owl. And again, all of these, I'll put a video of on my Facebook page, and also the main picture of this live video feed. I will have a picture grouping of all of these together, just because I can. And I think with that, I'm going to call it quits for the day. I might do another quick one later on. I've got another hour and a half before I have to get to work. Oh, by the way, happy Memorial Day to all of those people out there. And why didn't you invite me over for a steak? That's my problem. No, I'm good. The encasing has been a lot of fun, Athena. I have learned a lot through the layers that I can get and the designs that come out of some of the fuming that I've done. There's a lot of silver into that one. Um, Here's another thing that I silver fumed. My back scratcher. It's about that long. All I have to do is, and there are times you got to have, so you can't reach it, and these things are real. Oh, there you go. I got it. I should have put you on the other screen to show that off. But I haven't forgot about you, Gabe. I still have it right here. The main reason why I still have it is I forgot to sign it. And I have a tie pin that I'm going to take out and sign it and get it in the mail to you probably tomorrow. Okay? So it's not, I may still have possession of it, but it is yours. That's the way I look at it. I'm honest to an extent, not an extent, to the um, anyway. Excuse me, getting over another, I wouldn't say lung hacking cough, but I had a cough this last week that's taken a while to get over. I had a nice raspy voice for a while. And with that, people, I'm going to call it quits for the day. And as always, enjoy your day. I try to enjoy mine. And carpe vitro. For those that want a translation on that, it's a basic Latin, seize the glass. Thank you, and have fun today. Enjoy the festivities.